guys, my name is Diane and I'm from Di's Crafty Corner, and I am super happy to be a guest designer for the month of March here at Kat Scrappiness. So I thought I would give you a little peek at the things that I'm going to use to make my first design team project, and let's get started. So I'm going to be using the inks. Now, by the way, guys, all of the products that I'm showing you right now, you can get at Kat Scrappiness. So I will make sure I leave links below, that everything will be easy to find, and let me just show you what I'm going to be using. So I'm going to be using the inks for today are going to be Lawn Fawn Sunflower, Fake Tan, Freshly Cut Grass, Celery Stick, VersaFine, and Memento for my black inks. Actually, I think I'm just going to be using VersaFine, to be honest. I'm going to be using the Wow Metallic Gold Rich Embossing Powder for my sentiment, I'm pretty sure. And I'm going to be using score tape in the 1/4 inch for my panels. My panels I've cut out with this gorgeous set of dies, which are the Wonky Stitch dies from Kat Scrappiness. I am using the largest as well as the next size up, and I've cut both of those out, one in some yellow cardstock and white, and then I'm going to be doing it on a top folding A2 size card. That's going to be my card base. And the stamp set we're going to be using is this one, and this is Everyday Brush Strokes. And I'm going to be using, I believe, You Color My World as my sentiment today. I'm going to be using the VersaFine and just a block to stamp things down with. I'm not going to be using a stamp press today. And I'm going to be using the Spectrum Noir clear glitter pen for just a little bit of shimmer at the end. All right, guys, let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to start by stamping out the sentiment at the very bottom of my wonky stitched white panel. I'm stamping it out in Versamark, which is a clear sticky ink, and then I'm going to be covering that with the Wow metallic gold embossing powder, and then I'm going to heat set that off camera and bring it back. And isn't it cute? This embossing powder does a great job. It's a fine detail powder. So then I'm going to go on and start with the stamping. I decided, actually the second that I saw this brush stroke stamp set, I knew that I wanted to make flowers out of these brush strokes. Actually, I had 3 ideas. This was one of them. I'll share the other 2 with you another time. So I'm stamping them out. I'm stamping out the second one on the left-hand side of the stamp set, and I'm stamping it on either side of my panel. And then I'm going to stamp it out and then take part of it off the bottom of the stamp with my finger, and I'm going to stamp that down right in the center where my sentiment is. And that is with the Freshly Cut Grass Lawn Fawn ink. Like I said, you can find that in the shop, in the Kat Scrappiness shop. And then I'm going to move on to the smallest brush stroke stamp, which is right on the right hand side there, and I'm going to use Celery Stick, which is a lighter green. I love the way these greens blend together effortlessly. So I'm going to be stamping that out, and that's going to become the leaves for my flowers. So I'm going to stamp one on either side of my flower stem, just one time. These stamps are so great. I didn't have to double stamp. I didn't have to get out a stamping tool. I stamped it one time. It was beautiful. Beautiful stamping, beautiful stamps. I cannot say enough about this stamp set. So I've done it on either side. I'm going to go back and put one on the other 2 that are missing. And I'm keeping the ones that are on the left-hand side just a little bit closer to my stem, just to give it a little interest, just to make it a little different. And then I'm going to come in with the ink splatter that's on the top of the sheet. I'm going to use the large one instead of the small one, and I'm going to ink it up with the Sunflower yellow ink from Lawn Fawn. Again, that's in the shop. I'm going to ink up the entire stamp with the yellow, and then I'm going to go around the edges with the fake tan. Now, fake tan isn't really so much tan as it is more of a orangey color. So I'm going to be putting that around the edges. It's not quite as bright as like the pumpkin from Lawn Fawn. It's just a really nice color with the sunflower. So I'm going to be putting that around the edges, and then I'm going to be making that paint splatter my flower. That's actually going to be my bloom, and it's going to be super cute. So in this splatter, you have a few dots, right? So there's like this one dot that hangs off the side. I'm making sure that this splatter and that dot are in different sections each time I stamp it. That way it doesn't look like it's the same all the way across. So I'm going to stamp it up again. I'm not going to do the same orange around the edges. I'll change it up a little bit for each one. And then on the last one, I think I actually do more to a side. So I just, instead of putting it all over the edges, I kind of just do it to one side. And I thought that looked super cute too. So I'm flipping the stamp around just to make sure that I'm not in the same spot. But I don't want to mix my orange with my green on top of my green, because that can look a little brown. When you put the green right on top, the orange right on top of the green, it can turn a little bit brown. So I was careful not to do that. And because these brush strokes come to a point, it makes it perfect to put things on top of them like this. So super cool. So on this one, I made the orange ink a little bit heavier on one side, and I just did that for interest. I thought it looked cool. And again, I'm flipping it around so that it's not exactly the same way, making sure that most of the yellow is hitting the green, because I know those will blend well together. And look at that. Isn't that spectacular, guys? Super cute, but you know, it really does look like a brush stroke. It looks like you just brush stroked it on there, right? I'm using some Sunflower Yellow Lawn Fawn cardstock, which can be found in the Rainbow Assortment Pack by Lawn Fawn at the Kat Scrappiness shop. And I'm adhering that to both of them. I'm adhering them down with the score tape that I showed in the beginning. And now I'm just going to brush on a little bit of the not the Wink Estella, the Spectrum Noir Sparkle Pen, and adding a little bit of shine in certain places and on the leaves and right on the bottom of my stems. I just thought that looked super cute, and that's going to complete this card. Here's a close-up of this card, which I'm calling Sunshine Flowers, and also a sneak peek of two other cards that I created using the same stamp set, Everyday Brushstrokes by Kat Scrappiness. So this one's a little birthday cake and a candle, and look at those wonky stitched rectangles, guys. Beautiful. These dies and these stamps are amazing. Go on over and check them out at Kat Scrappiness, and I'll see you soon.